Hey everybody, Matt DeBerry, DawgPost.com. It is November 24th, 2025, and today we're talking about recruiting. There's a lot going on. Obviously, signing day is in 2 Wednesdays. It is right around the corner. The Dogs are hoping to sign another elite recruiting class. Actually, I know they will. Probably going to be a top 3 class. They need to hold on to Jared Curtis, though. That's the 5-star quarterback that you all know a ton about. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in this episode because there are still several people who I think know what they're talking about, who think there's a real chance he flips to Vanderbilt. I'm still not so sure after speaking with sources this weekend, but we're going to dive into that more. But Georgia did get a new commitment over the weekend. I think they're trending in the right direction for 2 more in-state guys in the 2026 class. There are reports that they are leading for a 5-star running back in the 2027 class. So there's a lot to talk about. So that's what we're doing today. I want to make sure you all are up to date and the most knowledgeable Georgia Bulldog recruiting folks, because it still matters across the internet. So let's dive into it. And I feel like it's only fair that we talk about Georgia's newest commitment, who flipped from Penn State to the Georgia Bulldogs on Sunday. And that is 3-star linebacker Elijah Littlejohn. He plays over in Charlotte. He is Georgia's second linebacker commitment in this class. Of course, they have Nick Abrams, who plays out in Maryland. Georgia liked him the entire way. They landed him this summer. They lost a commitment from Shadarius Tootle, who flipped to Auburn to play with his older brother who's transferring in. Anyway, Georgia needed another linebacker, and this is a guy that we've been talking about for several weeks now. He was in Athens over the weekend and said, you know what? What am I doing? Why would I want to play for Penn State? They don't even have a head coach right now. I want to play for Glenn Schumann and the Dogs. It's a big opportunity. Most linebackers jump at that opportunity, and this kid did exactly that. He's not the longest. He's not the biggest or fastest guy, 6'2", about 215. But when I turn on the tape, I don't see a 3-star. I see a pretty decent 4-star guy playing fast, playing aggressive. He's had a really good senior season. 46 tackles, which is not jaw-dropping. 20 tackles, however, behind the line of scrimmage. 8.5 sacks. He's the number 30 linebacker prospect in the country, which is respectable. Number 19 prospect in the state of North Carolina for the 2026 class. He plays a lot of outside linebacker for them. He gets after the quarterback. In a lot of the clips that you can watch for free over on DawgPost.com, he's not even blocked. So he's out there making just giant jaw-dropping plays on the quarterback or whoever behind the line of scrimmage. But as you watch more of it, finally guys are trying to block him, but it doesn't even matter. He's shedding blocks. He's using his hands to fight off blocks. He's got a little spin move that he can get away from opposing tackles with. He can dip and dive under them. So I think he's a good athlete, but he plays fast, and he is aggressive, and he closes on the ball carrier really well. He's a sure tackler, but he's got a nose for the football. I mean, the guy just always puts himself in a position to make a play, and he only has 46 tackles, but it's a pretty decent defense collectively from what I've gathered, but a lot of his plays are big momentum drive-killing plays. And this is a guy that, Georgia had him on their radar for a long time and decided, hey, this is a guy that we need to start pushing harder for. They got him on campus. They won him over, and now he is on the commit list. They have 31 commitments so far in the 2026 class. And again, there's still 2, maybe 3 spots available. And with just a little over a week left, it'll be interesting to see who takes those positions. I'm about to talk about a couple of guys, but I did want to share some stats from Nick Abrams, the other linebacker commitment. Again, he's the one from Maryland. Big year, 90 tackles, 11 sacks, 15 tackles for a loss, 2 pick sixes in coverage, another fumble return for a touchdown. He also had a touchdown catch on offense. Big time player right there. So we've talked about the 2 linebackers, and we're going to talk about Jared Curtis probably in just a second. Let's just do it now. But first, Free Bird. Right, proudly sourced, right here, Free Bird water, proudly sourced from the heart of Georgia's Blue Ridge Mountains. Free Bird delivers a crisp, clean taste, making it easy to stay hydrated and make your taste buds stand up and salute, baby. Let's go. Drink to life's simple moments. I'm going to do that right now before we dive into some Jared Curtis talk. There you go. I'm going to take a few sips because this stuff is fantastic. Perfect. Love it. Love it. Okay. Jared Curtis, the five-star quarterback from Nashville. Lot of chatter. If you're a Georgia fan, probably too much chatter of him maybe pulling a Dylan Raiola and right before signing day flipping somewhere else. He's committed to Georgia twice. They picked Georgia. Jared and the family chose Georgia because they want him to play play for Mike Bobo, to be coached by Mike Bobo, and to be developed by Mike Bobo. They fell in love with him, his scheme, what he's done in the past. They fell in love with Georgia and Athens. They are a believer in Kirby Smart. There are many reasons why they chose Georgia, and I was able to speak with a close source when we went up there to watch him. And after that conversation, there was not a doubt in my mind ever that he would be flipping from Georgia. I mean, it felt locked in. However, Vanderbilt's on the rise. They can give him about a as big an NIL bag as anyone out there. They need a quarterback next year. So if you're Jared Curtis, you've got about a week to make a final decision. I think he's going to stay with Georgia, but there's a lot of chatter, a lot of noise, a lot of buzz about Vanderbilt. And if you're Jared Curtis, you can see why, right? The days of five-star quarterbacks waiting on the bench for a couple of years, those days are over. And the days of programs stacking five-star quarterback after five-star quarterback year after year, those days are gone, right? Ohio State is kind of pulling that off still, and occasionally Alabama. But if you want to play quarterback at Georgia, you're going to have to sit and wait a little bit, right? Stetson Bennett waited how many years? And he didn't get that starting job till it was like 23, 24, and then still had to hold on to it in that 21 season. Carson Beck waited 3 years. He finally won the starting job in year 4. Gunnar Stockton won it in year 4. Ryan Puglisi might have to wait his 4 years before he's a starter. So you don't come to Athens and play right away. That's just, if you're a five-star quarterback or a quarterback with any rating and you want to play early, it ain't going to happen at Georgia. Now, Jared Curtis, who is from Nashville, can play probably day one at Vanderbilt. He doesn't have to go very far. He can get a big NIL bag. He can play day one and accomplish just about everything he wants. Now, he wants to win. I'm not sure if a freshman quarterback, even as talented as Jared Curtis, can lead Vanderbilt to the playoff next year. I think he's going to really struggle if he has to start day one at Vanderbilt, but I think he has all the talent in the world. This is a number one overall NFL draft pick type of guy. He's got that potential. Insane arm strength. They love Georgia. They were back in Athens for the Texas game, and they're not wasting their time. I still think they're locked in, but he could flip, and I'm sure Vanderbilt's doing everything they can to make that decision very tough for him. Some people do think he's going to flip. I am not there yet. It could happen. Stranger things have happened, but I think at this point, they told the staff they were coming. They've committed twice. He knows that he can be developed and win at a place like Georgia, but it's up to, hey, do I want to play immediately at Vanderbilt? Maybe, struggle a little bit, but, get out there, start making plays. Or do I go and have to sit and be patient and hope to win the Georgia job as early as possible? Maybe year 2, maybe it's year 3 or beyond that. So, there's a lot that goes into it. It's a big decision. My gut, from the sources I've spoke with, even earlier this fall and recently, still think he's going to stick with Georgia. But it would not surprise me if a flip to Vanderbilt happened when you consider all of the factors. We're going to have more about that on dawgpost.com. And we'll try to get some news out there if a ceremony is happening on signing day on December 2nd, December 3rd, that Wednesday, or if he's just completely shutting it down with some post coming out. So we'll see where it goes, but it's still something to keep an eye on. However, if he does flip to Vanderbilt, Jaden Wade, the five-star quarterback they have in the 28 class, has a very good chance of reclassifying to the 27 class. So that's just 1 year after Jared Curtis. So it would not be the end of the world because that kid's really good too. Also, Wildcats, not Kentucky. It's the most comfortable sweatshirt I have, and it is the middle school for the school that my wife used to work at. So I just throw it on sometimes in the morning. It's not Kentucky, okay? It's not Kentucky. Some of y'all always think that. It's not. What else do I have? Oh, offensive lineman Tyreek Jemison is a guy to keep an eye on. He might be committing this week. If that happens, I like Georgia's chances. 6'5", 330 pounds. He's a 4-star, ranked as the number 25 interior offensive lineman, number 42 prospect in Georgia. One of the top, fastest rising offensive linemen in the state of Georgia, former Kentucky commitment. Again, he is big, 6'5", 330, big old tree trunks for legs, big old hips. He is strong. I watched some of his clips last night to prepare for this video. He's a guy that I've known about for a long, long time. I've mentioned him, but he is coming off a dominant senior season. I mean, just pancake. He can play out in space. He's athletic enough to get after and attack those linebackers or a safety in the screen, short passing game there. Well, really the screen game. So he can play in space, but he can also, he's a physical run blocker. He plays tackle for Paulding County. He will likely slide inside at the next level. Wouldn't surprise me if he made a commitment this week. And then there is Blake Stewart, the in-state safety from Woodward Academy, former Clemson commit. Should have more on him over on Dawg Post. Definitely a guy to know. And then the 5-star running back, Kamon Spell, number 1 running back in the country for the 27 class, number 3 overall. This is a do-it-all 5-star guy, runs with speed, power, elusiveness. He's got breakaway speed, but he's a bowling ball. Takes like 3 guys to tackle this dude. He was in Athens for a visit this past weekend. A lot of reports saying Georgia has taken the lead there. Long way to go in the 27 class. Long way to go, but he is a former Penn State commitment from Pennsylvania who took a visit to Georgia this weekend and apparently absolutely loved it. Big deal. Number 3 prospect in the country, number 1 running back. Definitely a guy to keep an eye on for the future. Okay, probably went a little long here, especially with the Jared Curtis talk, but that's what people want to know. 5-star quarterback. Is he staying with Georgia? Is he flipping to Vanderbilt? We will see. I don't know the exact answer. I think he's going to stick with Georgia, but this one is a lot more interesting than I ever thought it would be. I will say that. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. I will see you over on dawgpost.com.